What if the secrets of time travel, interstellar flight, what if they aren't just science fiction? What if they're a deeply classified reality, maybe even built with help from, well, an extraterrestrial race? Today, we're taking a deep dive into some really extraordinary sources discussing something called Project Minot. We're talking covert origins, revolutionary tech, and honestly, some truly mind-bending journeys. Our mission for you is to pull out the key bits of knowledge from this account of alien assistance and secret ops, basically giving you a shortcut to understanding this pretty next-level information without getting bogged down.
Yeah, it's a fascinating narrative. And to really get it, we need to start with Project Minot itself. What is it? It's the code name, right? For Managed Integrated Navigational Off-Planet Transport. The really key thing is its dual purpose. It's a craft designed for travel outside our solar system.
Yeah, outside the solar system.
And explicitly for time travel.
Time travel, wow. Okay, so it's not just what it is, but when did this all start? Who's behind it?
Right. So the sources say Project Minot kicked off back in 1977. Initially, the planning involved the U.S. Space Command. NASA helped out too. But then DARPA stepped in. They were the ones who brought U.S. contractors on board for the actual development.
Ah, DARPA. Makes sense.
And it's important to remember, Minot refers only to the craft, just the vehicle itself, not the, the missions or the piloting operations.
Got it. And this information, this incredible story, where does it actually come from? Who's the source?
Well, it's quite a chain, actually. The primary source is Richard Doty. He is a former special agent, Air Force Office of Special Investigations, OSI, worked directly on UFO intelligence stuff.
Okay, so he was in the know.
Definitely. And he got this specific info from an astronaut codenamed Ben. Apparently, Ben's been in this program for something like 17 years, deep inside it.
17 years. Still active.
Yeah, still active. That's why he can't go on camera.
Yeah.
Ben shared it with Doty because he feels it's part of maybe a slow disclosure effort. But yeah, he's still in the program, so it's a very unique look inside.
Absolutely. A serving astronaut sharing this. And the really astonishing part, the core of this, seems to be how this craft, the Cronus, was developed.
Yes, exactly, the Cronus craft. It wasn't just human engineers working alone in a lab. It was created with direct assistance from an extraterrestrial race, specifically one non-human entity.
Okay, hold on. An actual ET helping build a time machine. Where did this entity come from?
The story goes, this ET was found inside a craft that crashed. October 1959, it happened in Nye County, Nevada, near some mine. Miners actually saw it go down. Took the Air Force 11 days, apparently, to recover the craft and the occupant.
11 days. And this ET, they gave him a code name.
Yep. Later codenamed J-Rod. He's identified in the material as a Pleiadian, from a specific planet in the Pleiades star system, which, has thousands of stars and planets itself.
A Pleiadian, often described as humanoid. What was he like?
Physically, pretty similar to us in basic form, bipedal, arms, legs, but different eye sockets, apparently no eyebrows. The big thing, though, was his intellect. Just extraordinary. Estimated IQ around 200.
200 IQ. Wow. Communication must have been tough at first.
It was a huge challenge. He couldn't speak English, obviously. And humans really struggled with his initial attempts at telepathy, or what they called thought transfer.
So how do they breach that gap, a 200 IQ alien trying to talk?
Well, this is interesting. Apparently, because his biology was somewhat human-like, he had a throat, vocal cords, essentially. And because he was so intelligent, he actually learned to speak English.
Learned English. That's surprisingly practical.
It made things much easier for the humans involved, definitely. It speaks to maybe some biological parallels. And it also brings up the diversity of ET life. Doty mentioned back when he was active, they were aware of maybe 5 different species visiting Earth.
5 different kinds.
Yeah. Some, like J-Rod, could eventually speak. Others had no voice box, communicated purely telepathically, consciousness to consciousness. And then you had others, like remember EB1 from the Roswell Corona crash in '47, supposedly spoke in tones?
Tones, like musical notes.
Something like that, yeah. And Doty notes that now the number they're aware of might be closer to 9 or 10 species. It really changes how you have to think about contact, doesn't it? This huge variety.
It absolutely does. So, okay, you have this super intelligent Pleiadian, J-Rod. Why would he help us build this incredible machine? What was in it for him?
That's maybe the most human part of the story, in a way. It's actually quite sad. J-Rod was the only survivor from his craft. There were 5 entities on board. 4 died in the crash.
Oh, wow. The only one.
Yeah. So suddenly, he's stranded on an alien planet Earth. He's in trouble. He needs help himself. The intelligence suggests a big part of his motivation for helping create the Cronus craft was he wanted to go home. He wanted us to be able to take him home.
You want to ride back?
Essentially, yes. And they believe he might still be alive today, somewhere in the Nellis training range area.
Still there. Amazing. Okay, let's pivot to the craft itself then, the Cronus.
Yeah.
Named after the Greek god of time. Very fitting, it sounds like.
Extremely fitting. And the reason why is really down to its most revolutionary component, its outer skin. It's described as being almost a living organism.
A living skin on a spacecraft.
That's the description. A direct ET contribution. And this skin had the ability to, quote, project itself and curve time.
Okay, project itself and curve time. Let's unpack that. How does a living skin do that? How does that enable travel?
It's wild, right? This skin wasn't just passive material. It was interactive. It worked in conjunction with another piece of tech, something they took from J-Rod's crashed ship, a 4-vector longitudinal pathway device.
A 4-vector? Okay, quite a mouthful.
Yeah. But basically, the skin and this device together could somehow seek out and lock onto specific points or portals in space. It allowed the craft to be steered towards these portals.
And how did the pilots control it? With joysticks?
Initially, yes. They used physical controls to interface with the skin to tell it where to go, but later on, apparently, they learned to interface with it directly, using consciousness.
Wait, they could think the ship where to go.
That's what the source indicates. Flying the ship with their minds, essentially interfacing directly with this living skin.
That technological leap, from controls to consciousness,
Yeah.
that's enormous. Humans couldn't build anything like that skin in 1977, surely.
Oh, absolutely not. The sources emphasize this Pleiadian technology was just entirely different, fundamentally different from other ET tech they'd encountered before, like from the Ebens. It wasn't just a step up. It was a whole different way of thinking about physics and engineering, guided by J-Rod.
Right, a completely alien paradigm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the craft, the living skin, the mind interface. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, these portals, J-Rod helped them find. What was it like going through one? This is where it gets really intense, doesn't it?
It really does. J-Rod provided a kind of star map for our solar system, marking where these specific points or portals were. Doty speculates they might be natural phenomena, these portals, but he admits they don't know for sure. Could they have been engineered by someone else? Unknown.
But Cronus could find them.
Exactly. When the craft approaches one of these mapped points, the skin and that pathway device, they sort of seek out that path and the portal opens up. The description of entering is like a wormhole, yeah. It mentions an event horizon, like with a black hole, that point of no return feeling.
And the astronaut, Ben, he said it was the most horrifying experience of his life.
That's the quote. Horrifying. Everything inside apparently became pixelated, just total visual distortion. He said it caused extreme sickness.
Pixelated, like a bad video signal.
Kind of, but everywhere. He said they couldn't even see their own hands, their bodies. Just this, pixelization. And their bodies felt incredibly heavy, which explains why being securely strapped in was absolutely critical.
I can't even imagine just seeing pixels instead of your own hand.
He said they genuinely thought they were going to die, the disorientation, the fear. Their minds just couldn't process it. It couldn't function properly.
And time inside the portal.
Here's another weird thing. No time was recorded inside the craft during the transit. 0 time elapsed on their instruments.
But when they came out,
When they came out, it took hours and hours of our time, Earth time, for their bodies to readjust, to get back to normal. The physiological shock was immense.
okay, so they survived this horrifying pixelated journey. Where do they end up?
They emerge from the portal, apparently traveling at great speed, and they realize they're in the future.
The future. How far?
The accounts mention specific jumps, 4,000 years, 40,000 years, even 80,000 years into the future.
80,000 years. Just like that, after that pixelated nightmare.
Just like that. Imagine the psychological whiplash. One moment you're dissolving into pixels, the next you're tens of thousands of years from home.
Unfathomable. So the huge question then is, how do they get back? You jump 80,000 years. How do you return to 1977 or whenever they left?
Right. Crucial point. This is where another piece of J-Rod's tech comes in. He provided the concept for something called a quantum cord.
A quantum cord, not a literal rope, I assume.
No. More like a technological tether. A way to maintain a stable, non-local connection back to their original departure point in space-time. This cord was the key. It allowed them to reliably find the exit portal again and re-enter it to return to their own time.
So it was like leaving a quantum breadcrumb trail.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. And it worked. The sources state that even though missions could last quite a while in Earth time, 2 months, 6 months, sometimes up to a year, the crafts always came back.
They always made it back.
Yeah.
But here's the really baffling part you mentioned earlier, the time dilation, or lack thereof.
Exactly. This is the big paradox. They travel thousands, tens of thousands of years into the future, spend months away by Earth clocks, yet when they return, the astronauts haven't aged significantly. And just as weirdly, Earth time hasn't jumped forward proportionally either.
Which totally flies in the face of Einstein, right?
Yeah.
Special relativity, time dilation at high speeds, or near massive objects.
It seems to contradict it completely. Doty himself points this out. It suggests this technology, this Pleiadian tech, is operating based on principles of physics we just don't understand yet. It implies something much deeper about the nature of time itself, something beyond our current models.
Wow. Okay, so let's just try and wrap our heads around this. Project Minot.
Yeah.
You've got human ingenuity, but it's supercharged by this highly advanced alien tech, enabling journeys not just across space, but literally through time. It's staggering.
It really is. And think about the human cost, the sheer bravery, astronauts like Ben going through that portal experience, that pixelated horror, the sickness, the fear. What kind of person volunteers for that? To navigate a reality where time itself dissolves and your own body feels alien, it redefines courage, I think.
It absolutely does. So if humans, with this alien help, can actually skip forward 4,000, 40,000, even 80,000 years and come back, what does that tell us about time? Is it not linear? Can it be navigated like space? And thinking about J-Rod, his whole reason for helping was just to get home. The fact that such a craft even exists built for that purpose. What does that suggest about where travel is headed? Our place in the cosmos?
Maybe the biggest journeys aren't measured in light years, but in understanding these other dimensions of reality.
Definitely something to think about. A lot to mull over until our next deep dive.